Please click on the thumbs up button and the subscribe button if you enjoyed my vlog. Bye for now.
Hi everybody, do you ever wonder where the drinking water comes from that comes out of your tap? That's clean and you can boil or you can drink straight from a glass. Well, today we have been to find out where ours comes from. And ours comes from a place called Langsett. And to get to Langsett we have to go up on the moors. And you can see we've already come very high and we're looking down at a lake. I'm not sure what that lake's called. Might be called Damflash, but not sure. And you can see all around it's farming land, and there's also lots of land set aside for trees. And in the far right of the picture is moorland. And on the day we went, there was a shoot on, and I think they were shooting grouse. I have a photograph of the people who had travelled miles to do this shoot. Actually, only the vehicles, and it's such a long shot on zoom on the camera that it's a poor picture, but more of that later. And this just gives another idea of panning round really. You can see that I've gone from left to right, which is the normal thing to do, by the way. If you're ever taking photographs of a panoramic, go from the left to the right. It works out better. You can see there's one or two farm buildings, small and large actually. And in the bottom of there's a roadway which we'll be coming to shortly. And we have to go down a very, very steep hill to get to it. So we've come very high and we have to drop low very, very quickly, and then we will come to an area where we can park up on the other side of a main road. Now this main road is usually very busy. It used to be the only road to Manchester at one time, and it was a treacherous road to go on in winter, snowdrifts and all sorts of stuff like that. But of course the motorway is being put in place now for quite a few years, and I understand in certain areas of the motorway they did have some kind of a heating system for when the snow came. So you can see now I've gone to the moorland, better views of the moor, and what you can see there is heather, and at the bottom is the main road I spoke about earlier, and there's traffic on there, cars coming from right to left and a lorry going from left to right. Now that's a strange word for me, lorry. My wife says no, it's not a lorry, it's a lorry, and I cannot tell you why I call lorries lorry. Just a quirk of my old age, I suppose. Anyway, that's enough of that for the time being. Right, we've parked up in the car park at Langsett, and there's a barn close by, and of course it's called Langsett Barn. And here's a project that they're doing at the moment, and you can just see on the left middle it says Langsett. Now unfortunately I cannot read what it says to you. I was hoping to be able to, and I thought when I took the photograph it was clear and plain, but I can read a little bit at the bottom It says where dogs are permitted, please keep them on a short lead at all times and clear up their fouling using the bins on site. Please follow the countryside code at all times. Well, on this occasion, and I suppose it's because more and more people have been out in the countryside rather than going on foreign holidays, we found a remarkable amount of dog fouling left in plastic containers and lots of litter on this occasion. And I understand that's happened all over the country. It's a shame really, because litter, in particular cans, I always say to people, if you're taking a can on site and you're drinking the contents, it's lighter to take it home than it was to bring it. And but anyway, that's my view. And we didn't let it mar our walk. Now there's lots of different walks on this site. Some are easier than others, and we have to take the easier one. Now we're getting old, and but there is some really physically demanding walks on site if you choose to take them. And I will show you one or two of these walks with the photographs I took. Now the other thing is, when you're out on the moorland like today, it was a beautiful day, but it can change at a moment's notice. So be prepared. Take clothing with you that to stop you getting wet and cold. Just pop it in a rucksack, and also have stout shoes on. Normally I wear boots, but today I got stout shoes on, and mainly because they were lighter than my boots. But anyway, we as it happened, we had a nice walk, and I'll share that walk with you now. This particular toadstool is one that I see every time we go onto this site. I see this one, and I can't remember seeing it anywhere else actually. And for the life of me, I don't know what it is. If you get to know, please send in a comment and tell me what it is. But they appear to be everywhere you look. You can see that it likes woody. There's a piece of wood at the side of it, and you can see that it doesn't mind damp soil. Anyway, I mentioned earlier that there's hard walks and easy walks on this particular site, and this is one of the easier walks. You can see it's nearly flat there, which works out fine for us, and what it means is we can walk a little bit further than we would if we took the ones that are more physically demanding. And this is actually a shot looking back from where we've been rather than where we're going to. So that at the end of there, you'd go up a little bit of an hill, and then you would be at the car park. So once again, we're a little bit further, but this time on the right hand side, you can see there's a lake, and it's a very large lake for catchment. Now there is lakes higher up than where we are, and so I think they must catch water in the lakes that are further up the terrain, and let it filter down into this one. I would imagine anyway. I've not been told that, but I'll explain later. You can see on this site there are some wonderful trees, and some quite old ones as well, and a lot of these trees at this site, I should say, also had the benefit of being controlled by the NCB, the National Coal Board. And the National Coal Board, when they planted trees, they used to plant them close together so that they grew straight. And when they grew straight, they then were used as props for down the pit props. And the pit props held up the roof while the coal was extracted. But you can see there's lots of foliage in the area, and different types of foliage as well, making for a picturesque scene. And these particular trees, although they're straight, would have probably had other trees at the side of them at one time, and management's been in and thinned them all out so that they could make footpaths for people. Now when I go on a footpath like this, I think I am very lucky to be able to go to a site like this. And you can see once again there's all sorts of different trees. Now I mention this because the bark on these trees is very good for tree creepers. Tree creepers like to climb, go up a tree, I think clockwise, and come down the tree as well. So they say, well, let me think, do they go clockwise or anti-clockwise? Do you know? I think it's anti-clockwise. And they cling to the tree with very long toenails. One of the reasons we choose to come to this site is that there's places to sit and look out over the lake. And this particular seat has not been in all that long. So here are some of the views you will get when sitting on a seat looking out over the lake. This is a shot of the people who were on the gun shoot I mentioned earlier, and you can see lots of trees, and the water was changing all the time from calm to ripply, and you know, it's as the light changes, so does the picture in front of where you're sitting. And you can see it, the moorland on the far side there on the edge, a bit more of the moorland there, and every photograph seems to tell its own story, and really relaxing to be sitting there. You can see there's lots of bracken, and it's already going brown, and I suspect the brown bits have been caught by winds coming through between the trees, and one of the trees has fallen down, rotting away, and all sorts of things are living off it at the moment. And you can see here there's nothing growing on the ground because the trees need thinning out, and this is an example of the trees growing straight on a very steep embankment. And of course they go to the light, and I think these may have been, planted close together for pit props. Just a couple more shots then of the footpaths that have been put in, and the trees, and of course the trees get blown down, so be careful where you walk. And once again you can see there's nothing growing on the ground there, which in turn brings the roots to the surface. And different types of trees, a silver birch, I think that's been in a long time by the look of it. I'm not sure what that is, but once again ideal for tree creepers, blue tits, all the tit family like to see some of the birds on site. I'm not a very good shot, I'm afraid. I was at the full length of my zoom, but you can see few gulls in the background, and a coot, I think a couple of mallards in the foreground on the water, but little else. I don't see a lot of birds on this site. Whether they find it too harsh or not, I don't know. But here you can see that the water levels are very low. I wondered why that could be, and there is some birds on there. That's the other shot. The birds that you saw earlier was on full zoom. That's the same shot without a zoom. But look how low the water is, and you think to yourself, well, it looks as though it's getting dangerously low. What's going off? We get plenty of rain. Why isn't it full? Why is more water being used than there is available? And here's another shot of it. Now, it did come to mind that the lakes that are further up at the land may be holding back a bit. And I wondered if there was a deluge of rain, instead of towns getting flooded in future, that this becomes a catchment area for the extra water that falls. But that's just my theory. Prove me wrong by telling me different if you can. Bye for now.